Hello, Mark Johnson here, age 66, and I give my age because I want you to know you can be fit into your 60s, and I try to demonstrate that by taking on physical challenges people half my age can't do, or most people. The physical challenge I'm working on right now is a handstand wall push-up. I plan to do that in my next video in 1 week. It involves doing a handstand against a wall with your arms straight and then doing a push-up where your head touches the ground, goes back up. Takes a little bit of coordination so you don't damage your wall or hurt yourself. And basically you have to military press your weight while being upside down. So working on that, plan to do that in 1 week. So in today's video, I'm going to do a little bit of an instructional video on how to do an L-sit. That was my last challenge other than the back flip into my son's swimming pool. If you haven't seen that, check that out. But last challenge was the L-sit. So I want to talk to you today about how to do an L-sit if you can't do one, how to work up to it. And just a quick review. An L-sit starts this way and then gets your whole body off the ground like this. Now, you may have noticed that I went on my fingertips. A couple of reasons for that. It does get you a little higher off the ground, but also it exercises the muscles in your fingers or your grip, which is important as you get older. Now, it may be your fingers aren't strong enough to hold your weight up, in which case just do your hands flat or work your fingers up until they can handle that. So if you can't do an L-sit and you want to be able to do an L-sit, a key is progressions. Progressions, and this is true of any challenge you want to accomplish physically. What I mean by that is start off with a movement related to your goal that you can do pretty easily, and then have slow progressions. Now for L-sit, maybe you want to choose a progression that you can hold or work up to holding for maybe 5 or 7 seconds, whatever length of time you choose. Milk out each progression, and what I mean by that is don't be too quick to go on to the next progression if you can barely do it, because you may end up not being able to reach your goal. So better to take your time, milk each progression till you can do it really well, and then go on to the next progression. So you can just be creative with these. Again, experiment to find a progression you can do, and then once you've mastered that, then make it just a little bit harder and keep doing that until you reach the goal. So let me give you a few examples. With the L-sit, you could start keeping your knees bent and just push up and hold like that. Then, to make it harder, just slowly extend your feet, and then even like this, you could lift one leg, lift another. Now with your heels on the ground, what you could do is slowly lean back and put upward pressure on your heels so that there's less and less pressure on the ground. You could even put a bathroom scale under your heels and work at lessening whatever the readout is. Then what you could do is, with your knees in, work at lifting your whole body off the ground and your feet. And that, of course, is easier, and it gets harder as your feet go out. So you could do the tuck position, get up in the air, and then once you master that, slowly, each time, maybe move your feet an inch or two out. Or you could do one leg and then the other, but be sure you balance it out. Now, I have a chair in the background I'm going to pull up and do some demonstrations on a chair, because a chair is much easier to do an L-sit because you don't have the clearance issue. So you may want to start with, or eventually do some progressions using a chair. Make sure the chair is sturdy enough. It could be with or without arms. Don't be too dependent on a chair, because you could develop some bad habits of just simply not getting enough clearance and then making the L-sit from the floor more difficult. But I think it's a good starting point to begin working some of the progressions. Really some of the same progressions I just did on the floor, but on the chair they're a little bit easier. So you could begin just with lifting your butt off the chair like this. Much easier, because again, you don't have to have a whole lot of clearance. And then you could slowly lean back, get your legs higher, and eventually you can put your legs out, or one leg in the other. So again, the further out, the more difficult. And your heels are gonna probably be down, and so you wanna work at leaning back, bringing your heels up. So those are some ways that you can progress toward the ultimate goal of an L-sit. With an L-sit, you can, of course, the goal can be just to get in the position for a second or two, or to hold it for longer. I don't remember how long I held it, but maybe somewhere around a dozen seconds or so. Well, till then, here's to your health, both physically, especially spiritually, and a week from now, let's see how it goes doing the handstand wall push-up. Catch you then.